Legion, as you're here like always, and we got let's just adjust that. We got some Mark Hamill talking about his thoughts about the movie. Let's just have him explain it.
I said to Ryan, I said, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference. But it's not my story anymore. It's somebody else's story. Mm-hmm. And Ryan needed me to be a certain way to make the ending effective. That's the crux of my problem. Luke would never say that. I'm sorry. Well, in this version, see, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is the next generation of Star Wars, so I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker, but I had to do what Ryan wanted me to do because it serves the story well. But listen, I still haven't accepted it completely, but it's only a movie. I hope people like it. I hope they don't get upset, and I came to really believe that Ryan was the exact man that they needed for this job.
Well, damn. So just a few thoughts on The Last Jedi. As a movie, it was good. As a Star Wars movie, it was just whatever. It was not important to me at all. I was pretty damn psyched to watch that movie. I was really excited to check it out and see it and and have fun with it. And it didn't really deliver on the whole, oh my god, it's Star Wars feeling. It was all right, and it wasn't bad, but all the stuff that happened, in the, like he said, not my Luke. Luke was originally like the guy that could crush ships and stuff, TIE fighters and all that, with ease, but he's not that Luke anymore. It's just really weird. I got it. It's really weird. Like I'm really psyched to watch these Star Wars movies coming out. But in the old ones, even in episode 1, 2, and 3, there was something epic about them. There was something like, oh my god, it's Jedi and Sith, and no matter how corny the acting was, or maybe how bad things kind of turned out, the overall storyline and plot and events that happened were pretty good. And when they're redone in like Star Wars The Clone Wars, you're like, yeah, that's kind of how it should have been. It was just, we had an old man that couldn't really be the most athletic Sidious there is because he's an older man. And Samuel L. Jackson is just not that athletic. But with Mace Windu dying, that's like, holy shit, with Vader being, or Anakin at the end doing the Vader stuff and killing everybody in the temple, that's awesome. The stuff that happens in the new Star Wars, it's like it's just another movie. I've never been a fanboy or this follower of George Lucas, and although I've never really given him the credit as the director because of everything he's done in Star Wars, and for episode 1, 2, and 3, the way those were directed, I never thought were like the greatest way of directing. They should have had somebody that could direct but put his vision into perspective. Someone that would have made better decisions for choreography and fighting. Somebody that was like, I think George Lucas's time was I kind of felt his time was over. He did 4, 5, and 6. They were good. Very athletical, very just kind of everybody doing what needed to be done. And then you watch 3, 4, or 1, 2, and 3, excuse me. And it's all kind of like trying to get the old people to do these things, and it's not really working out. It looks corny. The guy who played Dooku, you had like CGI plastered face of another person doing it, and it was all he literally took too much liberty, I think, with CGI, which ruined it, the overall thing. But when you turn it into a cartoon and you redo all that stuff, you're like, yeah, that was a good storyline. When you look at these movies, you realize that Lucas had a unique way of doing something. He had a unique vision. His story was... It's like when you look at people do movies and they're like nobodies, and they do like this movie and it comes out to be this crazy movie that looks like it's like from a Cannes Film Festival or something like that, you know, where it's just not the same. It's not the same. It's not the big Hollywood garbage that's constantly spewed out. And that's what Lucas was. He was the non-Hollywood guy making a Hollywood level movie. And because you never had known actors in it, you never had people like that, his weird way of doing storytelling, not like a Wes Craven weird, you know, or a Ridley Scott weird, but just like a guy that was almost like a mediocre director, but a great story. He was like a writer and had no business being a director, but when Lucas directed, the movie came out unique and didn't have the same carbon copy feel that most movies would get with the camera and cinematography. Not cinematography. And so now we have people doing Star Wars that are just the bigwigs, right? The typical suits, Disney, and they are doing the same movies they've done for everybody. It's the same movie you can see anywhere else, just with the Star Wars skin on it. And that's when you start to really notice that Lucas just had a weird way of doing things that kind of made the movies unique. And that's what made them good. Some of his decisions were bad that really led up to being a kind of a crappy experience. But his script was good. Whatever's going on now, we have a script by Disney, and we have a director that's just common. Everybody he's in everything. He does everything. And so we get a typical Hollywood movie that is Star Wars. And Star Wars doesn't need to be a typical Hollywood movie. It needs to be a Star Wars movie, good or bad. And with George Lucas gone, it'll never be the same again, I believe. And I've officially, I think, lost all hope for Star Wars being what it was. Epic and incredible. Say what you want about Episode 3, but General Grievous and all that crap, that was just awesome. That was just a good old-fashioned action movie. And everything about it was fun to watch. Even if you had a problem with Hayden Christensen as Anakin or whoever. Yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. Now we have the typical Hollywood machine making Star Wars, and it'll never be what it was. It's just going to be another action-y movie. Which I guess is kind of unfortunate. I'm going to stop rambling, though. We're almost at like 9 minutes and stuff. Whew. Yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it, I guess. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Once again, my name is Azrael, and I'll see you whatever video I'm doing next. If you want to leave a comment down below discussing anything involving Star Wars, my thoughts, do you think maybe I'm hitting the mark? Maybe I'm a little off? I honestly believe that I am not somebody that says I am right a lot. I usually just go, this is my opinion. But I believe that I am right in this scenario, which is Lucas may not have been the best director. He might have been a decent writer or a great writer. He may not, and he's done other movies that were good. But as far as these big Hollywood movies, he may not have been the best director for him, but it was his weird, unique, and his non-conformative style. The fact that he had to leave the film guild, or whatever they call it, the guild of director, whatever they call those, because he wouldn't put credits at the beginning of the movie. He decided to put the big thing describing the movie first and foremost, and that was it, and no one liked that. Because he's so unique and he's not the same as every other director, that's the reason why it went so well. And it's his mistakes and his great decisions is what made those movies unique. And like I said, when you take all that crap out and you have someone else take that story and animate it, it comes out being really good. It's just some of the decisions he made for those movies didn't really work out so well because he was just so unique and he was beholden to no one. He had no one to really check himself or to check him. He put Jar Jar and he did all this other dumb stuff. But it was with his unique creativity that we got those, unique movies. Now we just have another run-of-the-mill owner of Star Wars, Disney, and another run-of-the-mill director, and it won't be the same. And I believe that I am completely right about that. That the Star Wars movies will never have that flair and that just what made it Star Wars. Again, I think it's over. So later. I don't mean to leave you on such a happy note, right?